Welcome back. You're now tuned into the other side of sports. I'm your host, Laws in the building. Rocking out. You of course, we got my man Aaron in the building. We solid today. Um, we got a lot of stuff on tap. I promise I'm not gonna talk about it no more once we get over the hump though. But like the Deshaun jump though is just so juicy, man. Like every week is something else that's going. Something else that's coming. Hey, listen, we are firing all cylinders today. Deshaun, bro, Browns, young. The new part is that the hearing is today. The league is trying to basically suspend them for an entire year. They want an suspension indefinitely for entire year. Judge, I think it's Judge Roberts is going to look at the case and decide on Deshaun's fate. If the league does not agree with her assessment, right, then it's going to go to Roger Goodell anyway. If there's an appeal from Deshaun's camp, then it would go to Roger Goodell. So this Bama get the final say any which way you look at it. But the thing that's intriguing is that they're trying to spin, or at least the defense is saying that you can't hold the player to a higher standard than you do the owners. And so they're saying that the whole Dan Snyder situation is in play. The attorney for the girl, I guess one of the still outstanding lawsuits that's still against Deshaun Watson, they went and sued the Texans.
As they should.
Said the Texans was complicit in the whole situation. Said that Deshaun was taking youngins to, like, I guess the hotel that's sponsored by the team and asking for massage tables in the joint, and that there was complaints from the management of the hotel of just all the women that he was bringing through the joint, and that it could be problematic. And they reached out to the team, and then the team gave them NDAs, I guess, to cover their side of it. It's a whole spin cycle on the joint. I mean, if you're the Browns, what are you doing? Like, I guess they knew, because I guess in the clause they got that Deshaun will basically make $1 million for the year. So they anticipate him not being able to play this year. I don't know if the Bama's going to play again, bro.
He going to play again. Like they're going to suspend him for the year. He probably going to get it reduced to maybe 10 games or 12 games based on him sitting out all of last year. But he's going to end up playing again. The Browns knew all of the stuff that we just now finding out. They got a lot more money and resources than any of these news stations, than any of these reporters or independent social media sports analysts. So they knew he was a pervert. And when you take that on, it's like Bama's dealing with R. Kelly or anything else. Like, you know what it is. You just hoping that at some point, whatever punishment is going to be the punishment, but you're going to get the return on your investment. They don't care about how he's treating these women. They just know they the Browns. They haven't won in forever. And they want a chance to have one of these alpha top dog quarterbacks that I can't remember the Browns ever having at any point in their franchise history. Like, the closest thing they've had is maybe Bernie Kosar, maybe the best quarterback they've ever had. So they've never had a player like this. And they wouldn't have one under any other scenario. They would never, ever have access to this kind of quarterback in their prime if it wasn't for him being a cold pervert.
Yeah, I just what they gave up, and it looks like the league is set. I mean, honestly, I just keeping all the way 100. If I work in the league office and I'm in NFL, I'm trying to keep this man out of the game as long as I possibly can, because I don't think he's reformed. I think the league, really, part of it is that they want to buy time, that if something else happens or comes out, that it won't impact it make them look bad from a PR standpoint. Because I don't necessarily know that the dude has, you say, quote unquote, learned his lesson.
They don't care about that. They care only about the liability. And like you said, I think they're going to try to suspend him indefinitely, like they did Josh Gordon, and force arbitrators or someone else to come in and put a limit on it. Because I think that absolves them of looking weak when it comes to women, especially now. You know, the subject is super sensitive.
It's super
with the way
sensitive.
The Supreme Court is out here
with the
wilding.
Roe versus Wade, Joe. Did you ever think that was going to get overturned?
Well, don't get me started on them. Yes, because you know how these Bammers out here moving on fields.
So the Democratic Party is so weak. It's weak. Where's Kamala Harris at, dog? Has she spoken? Has she said anything?
They're not allowing her to speak. Where's her boss at, who was making all these promises to black people during the campaign?
I'm just so disheartened with the whole political movement right now. It's just it's trash. It's trash. Though, speaking of trash, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Your boy, he back, Ern.
All the goofies about to be negative when he get him a ring, or at least be in contention. What you call it? Contention for a championship. Like, because we always said he's been stuck in Washington with no scores.
Johnny,
he got super scores now.
Johnny back,
top 3 team in the league. I'm happy for him.
Dog got out of Houston. He basically had to sit a year in Houston and just take an L.
Catching all the bread. Didn't miss a dollar.
Yeah, it was getting paid for sure. Now he's out of jail, getting healthy, out of jail, new lease on life.
Top 3 team in the league.
He probably could have went to any team that he wanted. Do you think that this was the best play for him?
Yes, because if he would have gone to the Lakers, you know how LeBron is. When things don't work out, everybody else in the team secretly starts taking blame.
You're the scapegoat. Soon as stuff start going, it's like, dog, John Wall, he just not the player he used to be. And you want, like, it never falls on LeBron.
Yeah. And Kawhi and Paul George have more left in the tank than AD and LeBron. Like, people don't want to have that discussion, but it is what it is. LeBron's in his last, he might have another year and a half of being, I mean, he's already on the down end of his career. He's still great, but how much longer do you think you have with LeBron? Whereas I think with Kawhi, health withstanding, he probably has another 4 or 5 years of elite championship contention left in his career. So I think it's a much better fit. I think coaching wise, you got a proven coach who's won a championship. I think you're the B team in LA, so it's a lot of pressure off of you because the pressure is going to be on LeBron and AD. Like, people don't really care about the Clippers in that way. So he playing with house money at this point, and he's cashing out. The Bama been cashing out off the gate.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for the Bama, dog, and I can't wait to troll you niggas all year long. I cannot wait. Dog.
This is a power move, though. I ain't even gonna hold you. For John Wall to get out of the Death Valley in Houston and out of Death Valley 2 in Washington, because it wasn't no better here. We're gonna get into the Washington situation in a sec.
It's gonna be a lot of moving cheese. These talking points gonna be shifting, and it's gonna be hilarious just to watch these goofy DC fans start coming up with new narratives to change all of their talking points they had when he was here with no good players other than Bill the entirety of his career.
Dog, I think John Wall could easily be back. When you're talking about top point guards in the league, he could be leading the league in assists. He could be back in that upper echelon category again. And this is a perfect situation for him, dog. 2 superstars he can lean on. He's just going to be asked to distribute the ball.
Real scores, which is his natural ability to distribute the ball.
He can defend, like, yeah, dog. This is a good place to be. That's a good place to be. And Paul George is a 1A scorer.
The only thing, though,
Kawhi is a 1A
Bama love the party. The Bama love the party. If you thought the party scene in DC was wild,
but he's a little older. But he's a little older though too.
What
I
does
feel
that
like
mean? This Bama was
I'm saying
partying through this year.
no, I'm saying with a little bit of age though comes a little bit of wisdom, and you slow down a little bit, dog.
Who? Who?
No, he ain't gonna be going like he was down here.
Is he less rich?
No,
He
he's not
never,
less.
dog. This Bama was living in DC. When you extrapolate that to what he's gonna be able to do in LA, the youngins in LA, the other dog, the scene is just completely different to what it is here. If you thought he loved Rose Bar, this Bama, he about to be famous in LA. He might trick off half of that $250 million he got in the last 3-4 years.
I got some breaking news.
Oh,
Breaking news. You know, I never really come with the breaking news. Breaking news. Out of the Commanders
oh.
team, Terry McLaurin. Did you want to come up? Come on, man. What's going on? All right, let's see here. Terry McLaurin signing an extension. Looks like it's for 3 years. All right, let me pull it up this
75.
way. We're gonna see it. We're gonna see it this way. Oh my goodness, dog. I can't. Phones and service down this jump. Let me go here. Okay, here we go. Terry McLaurin signed a 3-year extension worth up to $71 million in new money that places him amongst the NFL top 5 highest paid wide receivers. Sources tell ESPN. Buddy Baker and Tony Bonagera of Exclusive Sports Group finalized deal today with Washington. So there you go. Terry McLaurin is signed to the Commanders for the next 3 seasons. You think that's a good compromise?
Yeah, I think it's a shorter term deal. And I think he also still gave them a discount because he could have really broke the bank on him the way that some of these other receivers are getting paid. So it looks like he actually wanted to be here, and they had to get that done. So that's one
definitely.
positive thing these idiots have done this offseason.
Yeah, nah, you need Terry McLaurin. Like, you need him a part of your team. You need him on your roster. I think anything less than him being there fully committed is problematic, and just really detracts your ability for your team to kind of move forward. So shout out to that man. Good for Terry
paid.
McLaurin. Yeah, get your bread, young man. Get your bread. On to the Washington Wizards, dog. We talked about John Wall. Washington Wizards, Bradley Beal. It looks like he's set to sign the Supermax deal of $248 million, which would be 35% of the salary cap. We all know Bradley Beal was drafted 3rd overall in 2012, so he's been in the league 10 years. Been very productive. Career stats 22-4-4. Playoff stats 23-5-4. I mean, Bradley Beal for I would say the last 2 seasons, barring outside of this last season with the injury, he was 2nd in scoring amongst all players in the regular season in the league. How do you feel about him getting the max deal, Aaron? I've gone back.
You know
and
the
forth
answer. Anytime a black man get paid, I'm happy for him, and I'm tired of black fans, especially in this city, acting like the money's coming out of their pocket or it's coming out of their tax dollars. Just because LeBron or Steph, because of the structure of collective bargaining, can't get what they're worth, doesn't mean somebody else shouldn't get the max that they get in their city. Like, the way Bama's talk about money when it comes to sports teams and players that they feel like aren't delivering them championships is so weird to me. The joint is so weird.
Well, I think it's different because I'm not looking at it from the standpoint of him getting the money versus him not getting the money. Because granted, right, I think he deserves the max deal, right? He's been the best player on our team for some time now, and by default, being the best player on the team puts you in a conversation for the Supermax money, right? What I'm saying,
the team you were drafted by and stayed with.
Yeah,
it's not like you could just go anywhere and get Supermax money. There's a process and there's a number of checkpoints that come in place for you to be able to qualify for a Supermax.
So the only thing that I see that's wrong with him getting supermax money is because, well, two things. One, I don't think that he constitutes as a supermax player in respect to other supermax players that I would deem supermax. Two,
But that
I,
plays directly into what I just said. Just because LeBron should be getting 60 million per year, because they're not going to pay him based on a collectively bargained contract, what he's worth to the league and what value he brings to a team, doesn't mean because he's underpaid, everybody else should be underpaid equivalently on that scale.
okay, granted, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. But the second point I want to make is that with Bradley Beal getting that much compensation, it does impact the ability of the team to acquire acquisitions that would be needed to make him want to stay here. So it's like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. If you don't give him the max money, right, you're almost shorting him, and you're basically, I mean, it's now deemed disrespect to not give him the max money when he's clearly the best player on your team. But then to do that, then you strip the ability of your team to be able to acquire pieces that would actually match with him to help progress the team towards winning a championship, if that's the goal. Now, we probably
Now
are
answer your
aligned
own
in the,
question. Now answer
we're,
your own question.
we're probably aligned in the fact that neither one of us believe the team has an answer to that second question. They don't have a plan on how to acquire a championship. And
Nobody
so,
wants to be here. Nobody wants to be here. Nobody's coming here. When he wasn't on the team, when John Wall wasn't on the team, they weren't bringing players here. So to have that argument that, oh, it's handicapping the ability to bring in players, nobody wants to be here with these losers and the poor management and the terrible coaching. Nobody wants to be here. So that's not even an argument that's in good faith.
so
It's not an
you
argument in good faith.
so from your perspective, this is the only move that they had to make. I mean, how does the Wizards get from mediocrity, which I'm always out here claiming that they are,
I got to go up there and
to
deal
a
with these
play?
Bama's tomorrow. So, but I'm just, dog, this is the thing. As long as you got the management in place that's in place, as long as you got the buddy system and the nepotism that goes on here, you got Wes Unsell's son as the head coach. You got Ernie Grunfeld's understudy as the GM. Nothing like they move pieces around, but nothing's changed. When this happens with the football team, everybody cries and beats their chest and whining about Dan and how poor the ownership is, but nobody says anything when it comes to the Wizards and Ted Leonsis. Like you look at these other teams. Lakers got 2 supermax players. They figure out how to get another one. Clippers got 2 supermax players. They figure out how to get people to come. Every other team that's good in the league has supermax players, multiple supermax players, and they figure out how to get people here. You want me to cry about Bradley Beal getting supermax? Were you paying some of these other bums who don't do – like if you cut Bradley Beal's salary in half and look at how many players are making that much money on the team but not contributing half as much as Bradley Beal's contributing. Like what are we really talking about? None of this is in good faith. You pay Bradley Beal and find better NBA players in the draft, however you find them, but they can't do it and they won't do it. So like having these pretend conversations about what the alternative should be is not a real good faith dispute, dog, or debate. It's just
What
not.
about Johnny Davis? What do you see in Johnny Davis? Do you think he's another piece that they could bring in that would actually help them progress the team towards, I would say, playoffs and further? I mean, he will likely play the same position as a Bradley Beal at his height, listed as shooting guard. I'm sure they probably mix him in as small forward. I don't know if he'll probably cut into KCP's time here.
Why
What
not?
do you think? He should.
I'm not high on these teams. This to me, I'm more optimistic about this pick than any pick they've made since Bill.
Okay.
Like, because a lot of times in these drafts, they'll make these moves and try to like Oubre and what was the other guy? Brown. What was his name? Brown.
Yeah.
That they moved up for.
Troy Brown
Troy
Jr.
Brown. Like a lot of these players, when you look, Denny Avia for sure, and Rui, it's like these players, and it's just like you don't really understand what they're doing. When you look at him and how he played, to me, he looks like the first player where I feel like, oh, he's got a chance to be to be a good NBA player. I'm not saying he's going to be Bradley Beal. I'm not saying he's going to be elite, all world, franchise changing player, but he looks like a piece that's a part of a build of a good team. Whereas a lot of their other picks, it's just like, this looks like, it feels like a marketing move or just throwing the dart at the board. And I wanted Jabari Smith or a move to be made to get out of the first round and get a player that
you know who I wanted, dog.
I'm good.
I wanted one of these Bama's here. I wanted one of these star Bama's, dog.
You would have been hot if they would have got a chip.
No, first of all, I would have Kirk. I'd have threw my whole. I'd have Kirk. I mean, and I might be in a minority to just think that he not built for the league.
I think most people think that. I think I'm the one outlier out of the black fan base that I don't hate the Bama, dog.
No, when I see a Bama like that, dog, and I'll put it in context of what I know about basketball and playing, I feel and dog, he might dog my life away on the basketball court.
Of course, he's 7
because I just but I just feel like I could just my heart is just bigger than his. Like I feel like how like you used to go to the rec center and it'd be a Bama in the jump. He'd be 5'9" with Timberland boots, and you'd be like, dog, and the Bama be playing in the post. You be like, dog, ain't no way this Bama gonna score on nobody out here. And that Bama get buckets every game, every rebound he get, dog, it's because your heart is the biggest tool. And I feel like when he gets to the league and them other Bamas is your height or close to it, and they putting a forearm in your back and like smacking your arms, and you're not getting them you got to be strong. I just don't know if he got like the grit that's necessary. Now, Johnny Davis on the other end, I feel like he got a little bit of grit in his game, and I seen him like step into another package.
And Tuck got to let go of the 80s. It's a new day. Like the best players in the league don't come from the hood no more, dog. Most of the Bamas is from the suburbs.
Dog, you can't tell me no Bamas raised by single mothers that's not still cookers, dog.
They not, dog. Bamas got dads now, dog.
They do got dads.
Most of the Bamas in the league come from suburbs, father, and they like it's just dog. It's not the same as when we grew up.
It's different, dog.
It's not. And so when you look at those things, I get what you're saying, and I know y'all like to see guys like that, and it makes you feel like reminiscent of back when we was growing up, but it's just not the state.
Dog, am I the old Bama now? Dog, I'm that old wash Bama.
We all are, but you just gotta let go of some of the old ways, dog. You gotta let go of the old ways.
All right, man. I'm trying, dog.
I'm not saying the Bama gonna be great. I'm just saying you can't go off the stuff we used to go off.
You're right.
Most of the Bamas in the league suburban or mixed. It's just a different. It's a different landscape of young dudes in the league versus when we grew up, where you had to look for the dude who looked the dirtiest, the hungriest, who needed it the most, and you kind of felt like he's playing for his livelihood of his family.
That's what I'm saying. That Joe motivation, bro.
We thought that was the only way, but then you look at like a Steph or Clay.
It's not.
Most of the guys in the league that's getting it.
Yeah, you're right. They got mothers and fathers.
Right now.
Yeah, they not super hood. You're right. No, it's a new day, young. Things have changed. Like, oh man.
John Morant, even though he's trying to sell.
Yeah, he's selling the hood life. He's selling the hood lifestyle.
Growing up.
Yeah, he's selling the hood lifestyle, but it ain't. We ain't nobody buying it. Dog, Serena, dog, at 40, out here in Wimbledon, still doing it. She's remarkable, dog. She's remarkable. 40 years old, still competing at the highest level.
And that tells you how much better she was than everybody in her prime. Can you imagine?
Dog. 40, dog, going at it like that. I think she playing a match right now. She should be. I don't know what the I try to see the live update on it. Nah, she getting washed. I'll be blown. She up 5 sets to 4. 5 sets to 4. First round versus H10. I don't know what the Japanese. That's what the flag. I think the flag is for.
Is white with the red circle?
Yeah, no, that it might be Italy then. This junk got blue and red and white in the middle. 3 stripes.
They're like France.
France, maybe, yeah. France. Though I don't know nothing about the flags, though. Bama did a flag test. I failed. I know a few, but before we get out of here, though, I seen this video. Aaron, this junk hurt my heart, dog. This junk gotta be staged, though. It's no way.
Day my baby daddy come here with one meal for my child, but I have 3 other kids. We have 1 kid together, but he only want to come and bring one thing to McDonald's. But what about my other kids? How come you can't feed my other kids McDonald's though? Like that's bogus as hell. Like you're not finna sit here and make my other kids feel left out, and you're only bringing one child something to eat. Look, there he go, and I bet you he only got one thing in there. I bet you he don't even. I'm finna expose out of him so people can see how he really is. It ain't more than enough food in that bag for everybody. What's up? Because I'm finna expose you. What? Because that don't look enough for all my kids. That don't look enough for all my kids. What is that? That's just one burger? One burger, one fry?
What he like? What do you mean?
Okay, what about my other kids?
Dog, tell me this ain't real, dog. Tell me this ain't real.
It happens every day. I don't know that this particular video isn't staged. I hope, like you're saying, I hope it is. But we've seen it every day. We see it every day. Make good decisions, dog.
It's so sad, dog. I don't even have no words for this, dog. It's just like, what are we doing? Yeah, you got now more than ever, you gotta make right decisions, dog. You can't just be out here. Cause this junk. Dog, I can't even imagine if I'm a father and I like had to navigate that. Dog, do you know how depressed I would be?
But if she had a father, she wouldn't be in that situation, more than likely. A father that thought that way. Because clearly she got kids by multiple Bamas, and apparently only one is bringing food for the kids. And the kind of guy you choose is only bringing food for his kid. All that goes into decision making. So even though you're not obligated to feed anybody else's kid, what kind of adult would come to a situation where it's other kids there and only bring one of them food? Especially McDonald's, because you know when Bama was little kids, McDonald's
so as you
was
crack the bag,
going to the Super Bowl.
So as you see, dog, you see the fries, dog, you gonna spaz.
So that's just.
I don't even do that for my nephews, dog.
Exactly.
Like if I go to my nephew's house, I would just add a little.
So these are the situations that arise when you're in these toxic environments, like we talking about when we grew up, like. Bamas that grow up in the hood don't make good decisions, and you just see all of these different things that take place in these environments. And this is one of those things. It's just when you compound bad decisions with bad decisions, this is the kind of toxic environment you end up with. And so you got to avoid dudes like this and women like this completely. Because I don't know what you get out of that. Even if you a cornball for not bringing the other kids food, you let the kid go out and eat his McDonald's that his dad bought him in the car, even if it's not in front of the other kids. But it's just all around, dog, just terrible decision making. And it's kids growing up like this, dog. A lot of kids growing up in these environments.
Oh, this is so sad, dog. It's just
and about to be more.
About to be more. About to be more, dog. Wow. Kyrie opted in his contract.
He ain't dumb as y'all think.
Nah.
He'll get that bread.
He said, I'm gonna get that bread. Apparently, he was out in California hanging with LeBron. That junk gave him a moment of clarity. That was like, I can't go back to this. Follow us at OSS at Other Side of Sports. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I know a lot of people listen to us on Apple Podcasts and all the podcasting platforms. Join the YouTube family. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Rock with us heavy. All right, we going to see the Wizards tomorrow. We going to hang. Do the meet and greet.
Let them try to sell us a dream.
You know they gonna sell the dream. No, I mean
they want me buy these tickets. That's what they really want. But we're gonna make them work. We're gonna make them work.
No, I wonder if I say, can y'all guarantee playoffs? Y'all told me Tommy, you told me 3 years, bro.
He'll ban you from the facility. But you mean playoffs?
He told no, I got the video, I got the audio from the last time when we was there. He was like, give us a chance. It takes time to turn it around. 3 years, we gonna have a different. This year 4. Then there's another thing I want to clear up, dog. I'm gonna post a picture next week. I promise. Bradley Beal is not no 6'4".
But you do.
I'm sorry, he not 6'4".
They give you the wrestling heights on the NBA.
Bama's was coming at me, dude. He said, I said, listen, the Bama's my height, and I'm 6'1". I stood right next to the Bama. I think that's why he didn't want to take the picture with me because he knew. He knew, dog.
The truth comes out.
He knew. He was disgruntled in the whole situation. The Bama ain't want to get down with it because
are the fans listening? Y'all getting more truth than y'all bargained for this episode.
I think he knew. He was like in the back of his mind, like, dog, if I take a picture with this Bama who's my height, he's going to tell the world, dog. And he was 3 years in the league, and I remember leaving that whole interaction and I remember leaving it thinking like, dog, how tall is this Bama? I looked it up online afterwards. I'm like, I said, oh, these Bama's playing Christmas out here.
WWF height.
Yeah.
If I was in the league, they could list me as 6'8". No, it's crazy.
Dog. And the thing is, I've been around like some NBA star, like players and stuff. That's legitimately tall. And like, you know what I'm saying? They heights match up. That Bama not, his height don't match up, dog. I mean,
don't match. It's a lot of Bamas in the league.
It's a lot of Bamas in the league. You think, but you Draymond. Stand right next to him. Draymond got the league hot too, dog. He got Bamas. He done called Kendrick Perkins a coon, got him sizzling. It's a lot going on right now. Why they hate on the Bama of Draymond, dog? The new media.
Because I mean, part of it is they created this bubble where they get away with a lot of stuff that men typically don't get away with in the real world. Like you talk about people in certain ways and certain tones when you couldn't sniff their jocks. You know what I mean? You got these nerds and basement dwelling Bamas with no youngins talking about rich alpha males like they weak or you know what I mean? Like Russell garbage Westbrook human beings. Like you got Skip calling Bama's Russell Westbrook and stuff like that. So it's a lot that's going on. You can't put hands on them. Disrespectful, but you can and you should. You just don't do it yourself. You rich. You don't have $5,000 to tell Alabama, oh yeah, he gonna be
I just need you to smush him, dog. Just
put an elbow in his nose right quick. Just one time. You'll be out by Monday. Like that's how you got to start handling these people because they feel immune, like you said, to the real world. And so with Draymond coming out and calling them out on a lot of the stuff they do, and a lot of these black guys who get into these spaces with these others and start kowtowing and participating in the foolishness. And did you see what Kendrick Perkins said for Draymond to say that?
Nah, what'd he say?
See, that's the key. They just tell you what Draymond said. They don't tell you. Kendrick Perkins said going into game 7, he was praying that LeBron tore his ACL because he was scared about losing that game. No! He said this on JJ Redick's podcast in front of 2 white boys. And JJ Redick tried to say, was like, oh, we got to edit that out. He was like, no, don't edit it out. You getting the truth. He said he prayed LeBron tore his ACL in practice so he wouldn't be able to play in the game in the playoffs. Like why would you, dog? Tell me that's not cool. He wasn't even smart enough to know that's not something you should say, even if you really thought that as a beta. I'd never prayed in any competition in life for some Bama to not be able to show up. But that also tells you why he was a trash Bama in the league. So it's just like Bamas have started to kind of adapt to the nerd basement dweller way of going about stuff. So like Draymond and JJ Redick. You got a lot of guys who's like, nah,
I
we're
like
not doing this
JJ
no more.
Redick, dog. I like JJ. I like the fact that he knows the game so well that he just like, I mean, granted, I mean, now we have this space where like guys can talk sports and kind of start their own platforms and things of that nature, which I love. I think it's great. But like not everybody can do it really well. And you know, JJ does it very well. Draymond does it very well. But dog, yeah, you gotta get that Bama up out of here, dog. That's coon chip activated. If you praying somebody get injured,
And not just he ain't say a sprained ankle. He ain't say, you know what I mean, like a cold or the flu like Jordan. This man said torn ACL. Like, no, you got to be kidding. You want the face of the league to tear his ACL for your bum. It's just, I don't know how you form your mouth to say something like that.
I don't know either, dog. Even in the spirit of competition, dog, it always was the best for me to have the best Bama's play. Like, you know what I'm saying? I did like, because it just made the victory that much sweeter.
He was just a big Bama. He wasn't, you know what I mean? It's different levels of stuff. Yeah. And Draymond called it out. Like, how do you, as somebody who played in the league, you shouldn't have to do that. You should be able to analyze the NBA games better than the betas that you're sitting with and not have to resort to these hot takes and these just random
but honestly though, let's just keep it all the way 100 though. Do you really think what would Kendrick Perkins be doing if he wasn't on ESPN? And
but like, even I'm telling him, even being there, you shouldn't have to resort to what they have, the people who didn't play have to resort to. You actually played in the games. You should have a different level of insight on what's going on with the strategy.
Well, that's part of what Draymond said. You don't know the game. I heard the take where he was just like, you know, these dudes, they get up here and talk, but they really don't know the game. So that's why they have to resort to the other stuff, because they can't talk just basketball and the X's and O's of it because they don't know it. Only a few people, like, I mean, either you study the game to that level, you know, but a lot of times, and we hear this, I'm not gonna call my man out because he actually on my good side right now, but like some players, and it's not just in basketball, but in other sports, they think just because they played, they just like they get an automatic stamp of approval. Because I played, I know everything. When in reality, when you playing,
you should know more than somebody who didn't.
But that's not always the case all across the board. Yeah. So follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. Shout out to Where's Buffy podcast. Shout out to Holly Cotton. Shout out to Sports Talk Tasha. Shout out to Jenna Garcia. Shout out to Lance J Radio. Shout out to my man Wes. My man Omar. Shout out to my man Mike. Everybody who rock with us heavy. Subscribe, follow, share. We out.